Welcome to Ride with Alina. My name is Alina. Welcome to your first ride. I'm going to be coaching this ride as if this is your first spin class ever, or even just your first spin class on my channel. And we are going to start with bike setup before we hop on the bike. It is so important to set up our bikes properly. If you would like a more detailed explanation on how to set up your bike, be sure to check out a new video that I'm going to be posting, a detailed version of how to set up your spin bike. I'll link that down below. This is just going to be a quick little check overview. We're going to start with seat height. If you feel the bony parts of your pelvis right at the front there, that is around where your seat height should be. And in order to actually adjust, most bikes have a knob at the back where you pull it out, you twist it, and then you move your seat up and down, and then you push it back in, hear the click, and then tighten it. So right at those pelvis bones, right at the front, nice and lined up. From here, I like to adjust my seat moving forward and back just by putting it in the middle. Just put it right in the middle. This is our first ride. Put it right in the middle. For me, that is around a 4 on this scale, but every bike is different. Moving on to the handlebars. The handlebars, as a rule of thumb, should be in line with your seat height or higher, especially if you have back pain or shoulder instability, or if you might be pregnant. So I like to actually keep mine a little bit higher than my seat, but we don't want it lower than the seat. So again, same kind of adjustment with the knob. And then in terms of moving your handlebars forward and backwards, we want them, I like mine nice and close to me, but the key here is that when we hop on the bike, we want to be able to reach the front and the sides of the handlebars without overextending our back. We just want a slight bend in the elbows. So let's just hop on the bike so we can check that all out. So in order to hop on the bike, today I am going to be using the straps on my bike. I am not using my spin shoes. If you don't have spin shoes, don't worry about it. Slide your feet right into the cages, take a seat, and then you always want to tighten those, you always want to tighten the, what are those things called? The foot cages. And from here, if you take one foot to the bottom of the pedal stroke, you should have a slight bend in our knees. If your feet or if your legs are not bent, you must adjust your seat height. And then if you take your feet parallel to each other so they're on the same plane, like you're standing, your front leg, that front knee, should fall just above the middle of your foot, around the middle of your foot. So if I put a piece of string right here, it should fall right at the middle of my foot. And again, if we tilt forward from the hip, comfortable position in our hands, we're not rounding our back. We are nice and comfortable. The handlebars are there to support us throughout the ride. Okay, that was a little longer than I anticipated. Anyways, that will be bike setup. Let's talk about the ride before we warm up. So we're going to start with a warm up. We're going to be going over all of our typical spinning type of tracks. We're going to be hitting some sprints, some climbs, some loaded sprints, and a rolling hill at the end. If you don't understand what any of that means, don't even worry about it. That's why I'm here. We're going to go through it together. And then of course, we're going to end with a cool down with a stretch off of the bike. All right. So why don't we get started? Be sure you have a water bottle. A sweat towel is also recommended. I don't have mine today. And if you would like, you can turn on your watch, but definitely not needed at all. All right, team, there my watch is going. Let's get the music going. Sit up nice and tall, shoulder roll to the back, brace through the core. That just means slight engagement. We're gonna tilt from the hip, hands in front, nice and neutral, nice and proud in the chest. Let's start with the resistance. Adding a touch of resistance. Mine is a knob. It might be a twisty knob. It might be a push knob. We're gonna feel the resistance in our classes. Let's talk about pace. So pacing goes by RPM, which is down there in the bottom corner. That is our speed, our cadence. We're going to be aiming to hit those RPMs with the proper resistance. So right now, resistance, around a 3 out of 10. Our connection here. I coach resistance on a scale of 1 to 10. And it's totally based on how we feel. 1 very light, 10 very heavy. Not necessarily a number on your bike. How we are feeling. Let's add a little more. Take our hands wide and accelerate to around 100 RPM. We warm up with accelerations and a smile. When we are cycling, our knees are in line with our toes, so just do a little quick double check there. Our knees are not out, our knees are not in line with the toes. That's it. Our hands are wide when we accelerate. 4, 3, 2, slow. The legs just slow. Take off the edge. Back to our base. Back to our 3. Flat road, hands in front. Neutral grip. What does that mean? We're not bending our wrists. Nice and neutral. Nice and straight. Just like that. Is that core brace still on? Yes, it is. And hey, if this is truly your first ride, which I'm hoping it is because that's my target audience for this video, you've done the hard part. You've pressed play. All right. We're going to do another acceleration. The goal of the warm-up. Lift up the heart rate, warm up the legs. We're going to hit that 4 to 5 out of 10 again. Our racing resistance. Oh, the music's building. That's it. So let's add it on. A moderate here, light to moderate. Hands wide and pick up the pace. So as we accelerate, we want to make sure we stay centered. We don't want to be going side to side. And we make sure we're centered by using our core. So take a second to feel the legs. Feel them rolling. Feel them getting warm. Now take a second to check in with your heart. Is the heart rate going up? Yes, it is. All right. Slow it down. Fall to the beat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 64 RPM. Add some gear. We're gonna end with a little climb. Just right here, hands stay wide. So as a rule of thumb, in our accelerations, we're going faster than the beat. And on our climbs, our aim is usually to hit the beat. 1, 2, 1, 2, the beat of the music. Of course, the speed will always be down there. And as for resistance, it'll take a few classes usually to get it. So I will explain light, moderate, heavy. All right, nearing the end of our warm-up. At the end of the warm-up, you can take a quick break if you need, grab some air, grab some water, whenever you need throughout the ride. 4, 3, 2, and all right, reduce that gear, 80 to 90 RPM. Remember, that's our speed. Moving into sprints. What's a sprint? We're speeding up the legs. And we're speeding them up under control, which means we need resistance. We're never sprinting on nothing. So we're gonna hit that 4 to 5 out of 10 again, light to moderate. The music's building, so let's put it on. The goal, let's go between 100 and 110, faster than the warm-up. Hips forward, hands wide, speed it up. Slight bend in the elbows. Point the toes down. Chin stays up. That's it, that's it. If you feel like you're bouncing in the saddle, that's an indication you need more resistance, more gear. They're synonymous, resistance and gear. All right, slow it down. Reduce, back down to the base, hands in front. How did that feel? Drop the shoulders down. Perfect. So you may have felt that a little bit more than the warm-up. That was the point. We're going a little faster now. We're gonna hit that again. And this time, let's not be so technical. We know the form, we got it down. We're gonna feel it. Get lost in the music, because that's what spin is really about. getting lost in it, living in the sweat, and enjoying every second of it. All right, let's get that gear right. If you didn't get it right the first time, it's okay. Just readjust, maybe take some off, put them on, and go. So we're shifting our hips forward because it allows us to make smaller circles in the legs and go faster. Imagine we are sprinting across a flat road, wind on our face. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. This one's a little longer. Woo! 5, 4, 3, 2, slow. Woo, that's it. All right, moving into climbs. So, listen to the beat, find the beat. 1, 2, 1, 2. Butt shifts back, hands wide, add gear, you knew it. So we want it heavy, up to our base climb, 7 out of 10, moderate to heavy. So we're falling to the beat, there's a push on the bike. It's not easy. Next gear is gonna be an 8. A little bit more uncomfortable. Add it on and stand, climb. Hands to the ends of the handlebars, moving side to side. The butt taps the saddle behind us ever so slightly, making large circles in the legs, core engaged to control. Oh, doesn't this feel amazing? 2 parts to the pedal stroke. The push down, the pull up. Make sure we don't forget about the pull up. Keep it coming. My favorite type of efforts, the ones that get us breathless. 4, 3, take a seat, then reduce just the edge off. Back to our 7 out of 10. Woo! Catch your breath. Heart rate comes down again. Rest whenever you need. All right, we're gonna hit it again. 8 out of 10, out of the saddle. This time I want you to think about climbing up a mountain. Hand on the resistance. You know you want to take it. Let's throw it on. Something that's uncomfortable to sit with. So let's stand with it. Up and out. Nothing like a good beat drop. Everyone's reason for riding is completely different. Maybe you want to get fit. Maybe you want to shed off some stress. Maybe you just want to try something new. You can achieve all those goals on this bike and more. I learn something literally every single time I do a spin class. A different reason. 4, 3, 2, take a seat. All right, don't go too far. Back down to our 7 out of 10. We're gonna stick to the climbing beats. It's a little faster this time. 1, 2, 1, 2, which makes me think of pointing this out. Oh, I gotta catch my breath. All right, hands in front. A 7 out of 10 in this track might be a little lighter than the 7 out of 10 in the other track. Remember, it's a feeling, not a specific gear. It's moderate to heavy. That's it. 70, 71 RPM, whatever it says down there. So in this track, we are going to hit some loaded sprints, which means accelerations with the heavy gear. We're gonna put our 8 on. We're gonna actually shift our butt back. We're gonna take our hands wide and pick up the pace. Put your 8 on, Heavy gear, butt, back, hands wide. Pick up the pace as much as you can. We're not going crazy. It should feel uncomfortable. Now we are doing large circles in the legs. Remember, push down using the quads, pull up and back using the hamstrings. The glutes, they're working the whole time. "15 more seconds. We can do it." Loaded sprints. Some of the most hardest deceiving efforts. 3, 2, and hold. Reduce. Now when we reduce, we don't want to go all the way back down to base. We want this to be an active recovery, bringing the heart rate down, but still keeping it in that working range, you know? You know. Welcome to the family. And hey, if you're not a beginner doing this ride, I see you. It's still a challenge, is it not? That's the thing about spinning. You can make it as hard or easy as you might need it to be. Sometimes there's those days where I just don't have it, but I still want to get active, still want to get on the bike. So I just take it a little easier, and that's totally fine. Then there's those other days where I just want to go. I think we just want to go. Add an 8, that's where I'm at today. Add it on, butt, back, pick it up, let's go. Try to keep all the movement in the legs. Yeah. Handlebars are there to support light grip. One of my bad habits is looking down. Make sure the chest is up, especially when it gets hard. 15 more seconds. Push through the heels, you'll feel the glutes. 3, 2, hold. Just edge off, air, water if you need. Air and then water, in that order. All right, we got our final track, our final working track. I love this song so much. We got rolling hills. What's a rolling hill? We combine climbs and sprints. Then we climb back up, then we sprint back down. So basically we're combining what we've already done in this ride so far into one track. So add your 8 out of 10, make it heavy. Getting ready to reduce to a 5. Bring it down, hips forward, we sprint, let's go. So best of both in a rolling hill. Back to the sprints, form refresher. Knees in line with toes, small circles. Hips forward, hands wide. Let's get it. We're feeling good, we're feeling great. 3, 2, and when you slow the legs, the bike should slow your legs. You should not have to slow the bike, or you don't have enough resistance. Fall to the beat, butt back, add your climb. 8 out of 10. Ooh, it's heavy. Let's stand in 3, 2, up. All right, so this is beginner ride A. We're learning the typical tracks in a typical spin class. In beginner ride B, we're gonna get a little bit more technical. Take a seat, reduce, and accelerate. Don't take off too much. This is our final effort of the class. Let's bring it. We don't want to wish. We gave more when we get off the bike. Get in that zone. That's it, that's it. You're doing absolutely amazing. Five, 4, 3, 2, slow. And we did it. Keep the chest up, slightly reduce the gear. We're gonna cool down. Shift the butt back. RPM between 80 to 100, a large range. You take it where you need it. Here, 2 to 4, nice and light. But still, we feel something on the bike. We're never rolling out of control. So that was it. We hit a sprint, we hit a climb, we hit a loaded sprint, a little fancy, and a rolling hill. Take those hands wide and just roll it out. That's it. You should be so proud of yourself. Hey, if that was really difficult for you to follow, or just difficult in general in terms of fitness, you are not alone in that sentiment. When I did my first spin class, I hated it. I did a 45-minute spin class. I wanted to get out of there the entire time. So it's a normal feeling, but the more you come back, the fitter you're gonna get, and the easier all of this stuff is gonna come, you know? Anyways, push up, shoulder rolls to the back, 3, 2, give me one more, set them back and down, brace that core, take the hands out wide, palms up, and then tilt the palms down, thumbs to the back of the room to release the biceps. Quick stretches on the bike, then we'll hop off. Interlace the fingers, round the back, elbows up, just like you're hugging a tree. And then quickly behind the back, interlace the fingers, open up the chest, bring the knuckles to the floor, eye gaze up to the sky. All right, let's slow the legs. If you need a little bit more time on the bike to keep rolling it out, please stay on the bike, keep rolling on the light gear. All right, when you're ready, we're gonna hop off the bike. This is how we do it. We are going to unclip, uncage, and then step down, all the way down on one leg. Take out the leg you're not putting your weight on. Step it behind the leg with the weight, and then slide right out. Nice and easy, all right. When you're ready, quad stretch, grab onto one foot, bring the knees together, stretching out the front of the leg, the pushing muscles, the pushing part of the pedal stroke. That's it. Pushing those hips forward. This is the feeling. This is the feeling we get to look forward to every time we press play. All right, switch legs. I like to use my bike for balance because I don't have a lot of balance for some reason after I do a spin class. All right, next up, we're gonna stretch out the back of the legs, the hamstrings. So plant those feet down on the floor, hip width apart, reach down to your toes, push the butt back. That's what we're trying to do here to release the back of the thighs. Your hands might land at your shins, and that's totally okay. Eye gaze to the back between the knees. And when you're ready, roll up one vertebrae at a time. We're going to cross our ankle over the opposite knee and sink back like we're sitting in a chair for a glute stretch. Again, holding onto the bike if you need that stability. Awesome. We use our glutes a lot in spinning, in cycling. And switch. I can't reiterate this enough. You should be so proud of yourself right now. This is the beginning of something big. The first of many to come, hopefully. If you didn't enjoy it as much, I do encourage you, do a few more rides. Give it 6 rides. If you hate it after that still, that's okay, you gave it a fair shot. All right, back up, hands on our handlebars, feet hip width apart, sink back. Don't put all your weight back, just like enough to release our back, and then push up onto our tippy toes, eye gaze up to the sky, and then back down. Let's take one deep breath in, reach up to the sky. This is how I like to end all my classes. Take in the positive energy and exhale. Give yourself a big round of applause, pat on the back. You did it, that was not easy. Again, as I was saying before, this is part 1 of this beginner ride. Take a break tomorrow, hop back on the bike to do part 2. We're going to jump into more technical things, more drill-specific tracks, and you have a good foundation for all of the other rides on my channel and all of the rides that I typically release on my channel. So if you did enjoy this ride, be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next ride.